Good afternoon, and thanks everyone for joining us again today. We are pleased to how well the reopening has gone this week, and we remain optimistic about the future. Earlier today, myself and First Lady Teresa had the opportunity to be out to a Hy-Vee store here in Jefferson City, to Orchlands, just to kind of see how things were going with the general public, how people were conducting themselves with social distancing, and how the businesses themselves were operating and what standards they were putting in place. And I'm proud to say that the majority of people that we've seen out there today was using common sense. They were doing what they were being asked to do. The businesses have really stepped up to protect their employees and protect the customers. And as you see, people are starting to go back and engage in economy. So was glad to see that today, glad to be out to kind of show the support of the businesses here and make sure people are knowing it's okay. I think one of the other things, after seeing some of the businesses open and how innovative they've become about selling their products or making sure that the consumers feel safe, whether that's curbside service, whether that's delivering all products, whether you're at the Orchland store, the Hy-Vee, restaurants, that you see a different form of lifestyle starting to move forward in our state. And I assume we'll see that in the next several weeks till we get the economy back up and going at a conservative pace. We're making sure the public is safe. As of today, there has been 9,341 positive cases of COVID-19 and 418 deaths. Again, I want to point out the number of positive cases is a grand total since March the 7th. The vast majority of these people are currently recovering or have already recovered. Our hospitals do have the availability, the capacity, and are prepared if a surge were to occur. Since Missouri's peak hospitalization in early April, the total number of hospitalized COVID-19 cases is down by approximately 17%. Although we aren't yet seeing a steep decline in St. Louis, we are beginning to see a noticeable flattening. In addition, our testing volume has increased over the past several days. Over 100,000 people have been tested in Missouri, and the percent positive of these tests continues to decline. Out of those 100,000, roughly 90% of the people tested negative. Medical data also shows a significant decline in individuals with flu and COVID-19 symptoms. This is all very encouraging as we continue moving forward with our recovery plan. We remain confident that we have met our 4 pillars, and we will continue to monitor this data each and every day. For Missouri to feel safe going forward, we will need to develop a COVID-19 vaccine. We are proud that the Pfizer Research and Development Facility in Chesterfield, Missouri, is one of 3 Pfizer locations in the United States that has selected as an initial manufacturing center for the vaccine production. This week, Pfizer and its partner, BioNTech, started human trials for the COVID-19 vaccine program. Today, we are very proud and very pleased to have Christine Smith here with us, head of the Chesterfield R&D facility, to give us more details about that. Christine?
Good afternoon, and thank you, Governor Parson, for the invitation to be here today. And thank you for the kind introduction. I just want to add that I am St. Louis born and raised. I went to school in Mizzou, and I currently reside in St. Louis County in the city of Des Peres. On behalf of Pfizer and our entire team working at our Chesterfield, Missouri facility, it is a true honor to be here today. It is our sincere belief that to beat this pandemic, it will take science and creativity along with the determined will of passionate researchers. I share with both pride and optimism that Pfizer, along with our partner, BioNTech, have started human trials for the BNT162 vaccine program to evaluate vaccine candidates for the prevention of the COVID-19 infection. This trial is part of a global development program. U.S. trials began this week, and the dosing of the first cohort in Germany was completed last week. The technology that Pfizer and BioNTech are developing is known as mRNA vaccine or messenger RNA vaccine. The messenger RNA vaccine is composed of subunits linked together in a specific order that conveys genetic information to make protein antigens that are specific for a pathogen, and in this case, the virus that causes COVID-19. In order to put those individual subunits together in the messenger RNA vaccine in the correct order or sequence, a template is required. This template is made biosynthetically and is required for each and every manufacturing run. And the Chesterfield, Missouri Pfizer site will be manufacturing this template. So to support our clinical manufacturing of the vaccine, the template starts in St. Louis, Missouri, in Chesterfield facility. The messenger RNA will be made in Andover, Massachusetts, and formulation and vialing will occur in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Now, once the messenger RNA of the vaccine is inside the body's cells, the cells use those instructions to produce protein antigens, which are recognized by the immune system of the vaccinated individual, which in turn generates an immune response to the antigen. We are currently investigating whether the vaccine candidates we are studying will be safe and effective in creating this immune response against COVID-19. Our Chesterfield R&D site, in addition to manufacturing the template, is a part of a team currently developing processes and methods that will be required to produce large volumes of the vaccine if our vaccine candidate is shown to be safe and effective. At the same time, Pfizer is actively scaling up our manufacturing capacity and distribution infrastructure to be ready to make the vaccine available as quickly as possible if it's successful in clinical trials and approved by regulatory agencies. We continue to work closely with regulatory agencies to develop, test, and manufacture this potential messenger RNA-based vaccine at an unprecedented pace. We are leveraging decades of scientific expertise in pioneering vaccine discovery and development to respond to this global health crisis. In a short order of time, we worked closely with regulatory authorities and accelerated what typically would have taken months into weeks, and weeks into a matter of days in order to rapidly and safely enter the clinic. And every step of the way, honoring our quality culture that is so important to deliver safe and effective medicines and vaccines. By doing many of these steps in parallel, rather than sequentially, we have the potential, subject to technical success and regulatory approvals, to supply millions of vaccine doses by the end of 2020 and rapidly scale up to produce hundreds of millions of doses in 2021. All Missourians should be proud of the fact that so much of the process development work on this vaccine is happening here in Missouri at Pfizer's state-of-the-art R&D site in Chesterfield. We are more than 500 strong in Chesterfield, and we will continue to work on the vaccine, of which we are giving the utmost urgency, as well as other life-saving medicines in the Pfizer portfolio. At the same time, we work in new ways so that we can safely increase our odds of having a successful vaccine. Together with our partner BioNTech, we are rapidly advancing multiple COVID-19 vaccine candidates into human clinical testing. BioNTech and Pfizer are testing 4 vaccine candidates each representing a unique combination of the messenger RNA format and target protein antigens. Each of those 4 candidates is potentially being tested at 3 different doses and 2 different age populations in a single clinical study. The design of this study allows us to move urgently while preserving highest quality and safety standards. Our work is very challenging, but we have an incredibly talented and experienced group of scientists, engineers, biochemists at Pfizer and at Chesterfield whose mission and purpose is to develop innovative new biologic medicines and vaccines. Of course, our work is being done within a larger healthcare ecosystem. Many companies, pharma companies, and biotechnology companies, as well as academic institutions, are working around the clock to discover, manufacture, and test vaccines and therapeutics to respond to this health crisis. And we all need to have hope for many successes. In closing, I am super proud to be a scientist working in the pharmaceutical industry and working at Pfizer and doing it right here in my home state, Missouri. And we believe now more than ever, #Science will win. So I'd like to thank Governor Parson for this opportunity and thank you all for your time today.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you for Pfizer being here in Missouri. And as I listened to your story a little bit about a homegrown Missourian, I guess to say, I could tell how proud you was. But as the governor of the state of Missouri, how proud I would be if we were the ones that developed the vaccine here and be able to present that to the nation from right here in Missouri. So I thank you. I thank you for everybody that's working there and trying to help our country right now and help the people of our state. Dr. Williams is also here today. He'll be here for questions. Further, we'll get them both back up here that you can ask questions with. In conclusion today, let me just say this. Today will be our last briefing of this week. There will be no briefing tomorrow. We will be in Southwest Missouri tomorrow doing some one-on-one interviews, and we'll resume briefings again on Monday. So with that, I'd like to leave you with some positive words as we move into the weekend. Today is National Day of Prayer, and Teresa and I would like to invite all Missourians to join us in prayer. When President Ronald Reagan spoke during the 1981 National Day of Prayer, he said, "The strength that prayer gives us should never be forgotten." Now, more than ever, Americans need our prayers. Today, we pray that our state and our nation will continue to be blessed and protected. We pray for our doctors, our nurses, our law enforcement officers, and all of our workers on the front lines of this crisis. We pray for those who have lost their loved ones during COVID-19. We pray for all Missourians, for their health and for their safety. Also, Sunday is Mother's Day, and I would like to personally thank all of the mothers in Missouri for their dedication, their support, and the love of their families. Thank you all for the sacrifices you have made during these challenging times. Missouri will always have the support of our prayers. God bless you, God bless the great state of Missouri, and God bless the United States of America. Kelly, let's open it up for questions. Let's see, you want to go Christine and then Dr. Williams?
Questions for Christine Smith first. All right, Noel.
Hi, so there were some initial estimates thinking that a vaccine would take 12 to 18 months to develop. You talked about it a little bit, but what has happened to help significantly reduce that time that's been estimated?
Oh, a couple things. As I mentioned before, we're doing a lot in parallel. We have an open communication and collaboration with the regulatory authorities. And when we look at how to supply some of the critical reagents and materials to get the manufacturing started, we have a very open and good communication with the suppliers. So those are just a couple of things. And dedicated scientists really working hard.
can you kind of explain how working on this virus and developing the vaccine is different than even another virus like hepatitis that's, chronic in the population?
So I can speak from a manufacturing position. This vaccine is different because it's a novel technology, and we're using messenger RNA to actually deliver that message for the body to produce the antigens that the immune system will react to. So it's quite different.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Williams? Any questions for Dr. Williams?
Hello, Dr. Williams.
Hey, Chris.
You mentioned that the state could get some testing supplies either today or tomorrow. Have they arrived today?
I was just with Bill Whitmore, and he didn't mention it, but my promise to you is the day they come in, we'll let you know. And again, I just want to join the governor in thanking Christine. It is so exciting. Messenger RNA is an incredibly innovative strategy that will get us quicker, and I think all Missourians, we've had great luck with the Chiefs and the Blues, and we're pulling for Pfizer and her team. It's just so exciting that's happening here in Missouri.
Hi, Dr. Williams. There are some states that are working to conduct like statewide testing with large groups of people, and I know that we are doing like the community sampling and things like that. So just wanted to check in and see, are we working, or is the state working on doing widespread, like 100,000 people kind of community sampling testing?
Not at this point. We're talking about doing another prevalent study, a prevalent study. We did a snapshot study last week. We're talking about doing a prevalent study in about a month, which would be more randomized, and you could extrapolate from that. But I'll tell you the other thing is, when we talk about having the 60,000 tests, what we really mean by that is to make those commercially available to our hospitals, to our doctors, that they can use them. And as I mentioned yesterday, one thing that's going to happen is you're doing a COVID-19 test on all preoperative patients. It's going to really help them that we've developed this capacity. So when you ask me about that capacity, I think a lot of that will go towards our private providers so they can reopen and people can have those surgeries they've been putting off. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Williams. Governor Carson?
Yes.
Hello, Governor. So today you were touring Hy-Vee and Orscheln's, and so you've been out in the public, and I guess one of the questions that our readers have you ever been tested for COVID? Have you ever felt the need to be tested?
I have not been tested, never felt a need to it.
Okay.
And just been at work every day since this all took place, and I feel good and I feel healthy, and there's a lot more people out there that probably needed that test more than I did.
Hi, Mr. Governor. State Representative Dean Dorman attached an amendment to House Bill 2010 yesterday affecting county health departments that would county health boards would function in an advisory capacity only to county commissioners. So do you believe that county health officials should only act as advisory to county commissioners to make these health-wide orders?
First of all, I would hope they work together to start off with, but I think the way we've been doing it for years seems to be working pretty good. Look, doing legislation sometimes at a time of a crisis is not always the best way to do business. I get everybody wants to respond and wants to do something, but I think sometimes you really got to look and see long-term what is the effect of what we're doing here. Right now, we've had a system in place for a number of time that's worked just fine. Again, we've been into this 60 days, so I think we want to be really careful about how we move forward, who has the ability to make those decisions. But for the most part, I would hope that county health departments are working with the local counties. They sure should be. I'll just say that. And if I think that was become a real problem, then I think there's ways to address that we may. But right now, again, I'm not for sure what all legislation, what all amendments are out there. I'll answer the question as best I can, but I don't know what that'll be at the end of the day.
Hi, I'm Claire with the Columbia Missourian. If this vaccine does become available by the end of the year, do you have a plan in place to make it affordable or even free for Missourians?
For the vaccine?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not sure where that would be, but I'm sure, the people that would have, I'm sure the insurance would be involved at that, how we would move forward. I think it would be premature for me to try to say it would be free for everybody in the state of Missouri, the vaccine. Again, that's something we'd all have to analyze and see what was the best and how we would do that. First steps first, you got to get it out there, even make it available. So that would be the first goal, I would think, of what Pfizer's doing and what we're doing to make it available, and then we'll figure out how we pay for it from there.
Governor, the health director of the Kansas City Health Department has said that there could be reopening policies by local governments and that they could be retightened by the end of June. What thresholds in the data that the administration is, what thresholds are they considering to reinstitute any restrictions if a spike in infections occur?
Let me go over that again. The hypothetical things that are being asked all the time. I don't know what's going to happen in June. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going to happen in June with COVID-19. So first of all, that's a total speculatory question. Every day I'll go back. We are looking at the data that we have in front of us that we know for sure. We look what we call the models or the dashboards that we have to make the judgments on that. In a way, we're going to watch all of that. We'll watch the hospital, the intake of the hospital, how many ICU beds, how many ventilators, how many people are testing, how many are positive, what the needs are. We'll get all of that information to decide what actions we will take. If Missouri keeps declining, then we're going to keep trying to look at that through the month of May and then make decisions at the next order. So, I think any of us is trying to speculate into what's going to happen towards the end of June is just strictly speculation. There's no need for me to do that. I think, again, let's take it day at a time. Let's see what happens 2 weeks from now, and then let's see for a month, and then we'll see where we go.
So what you're saying is the number of hospital beds available is going to be a huge indicator as to whether restrictions need to be tightened again?
It would be one of the indicators. Again, there is no one indicator that trips any trigger for everything. It's a multitude of things. Does a lot more people test positive across the state as a whole? Do people test in hot spots where their area? There's a lot of factors in that. So again, I think that's why I caution everybody when we like to use the positive numbers. I use them every day in my briefing, but the reality of it is the number I give today, the 9,341 positive cases, is frankly not even accurate as it is today as I say it. So that number will grow every day, but probably a very small majority of people in that number is positive COVID-19 right now. So again, you got to look at all this information daily. You got to compile all the information to make decisions. So we'll make the decisions as we get through May and the 1st of June comes. We'll be ready to make the next decision on how we move forward. All right, well, thanks everybody for being here today. I appreciate it. I will be back here on Monday, so thank you very much. Thank you.